is back in the big leagues and over the moon.
Welcome to the landing strip with Nick Lynham and Mikey Garcia, presented by From Financial.
Holy shit. Welcome back to the landing strip presented by From Financial, where me and Mikey are coming to you after the drug of a lifetime. The Winnipeg Jets beat the St. Louis Blues in double overtime. And it's time to talk about it. It's time to celebrate. We're going to get to those phone lines early. I want to get those calls and hear the excitement from all of you. But first, Mikey, how you doing, buddy?
There's really only one thing that can encapsulate how I'm doing right now.
Keep it going. Bring on the stars, baby.
The Jets are never losing at home again.
Sports is unbelievable.
Double OT means double Squirtle.
Oh. It's echoing sax, but hey, we'll figure it out. We're a little out of it. What a night at Canada Life Center. I'm going to be struggling my way through this one. What did we just see? Mikey, I'll let you try and begin. What is your big takeaway as the Winnipeg Jets come away with Game 7?
Man, I thought about this.
Double overtime.
I thought about this all the way home. And it was really hard to come away with a single takeaway because we watched two different games tonight. We were subject to absolutely two vastly different games. We almost got two full lengths of games with the double OT. We got to see everything of the Jets tonight. All of the bad, all of the good. It was bizarro night with who was stepping up and being the backbone of it. But actually, you know what I will say? My takeaway is that Tyler Branch was right. He said it was going to be an overtime thriller. And I said my heart wasn't going to be able to take it, and here I am with it beating out of my chest and no voice left in my throat. So, yeah, that was roller coaster of emotion. Man,
this is one of those ones, how can you not be romantic about sports? We gotta, you know what I love about this show? You know what I love about this community? Whatever happened tonight, we were either going to ride the highest high together or the lowest low together. And I think, despite some people not always understanding our version of fandom, I think it's real passion. I love this community and all of you that show up to want to celebrate together. And I'm going to bring you the experience in my day, kind of being there before we start diving into an absolute roller coaster of emotions of a hockey game. I went down there today at like 4 o'clock, right when the whiteout party opened, and I was walking around in the street, and I was like, you know what? I just got to go in there. As soon as doors opened, I was sitting in my seat at like 4:35. What a psycho. Having a couple. And it's one of those, for me, maybe I'm a weirdo. I like to be in an empty arena, like the vibes before and the vibes after. And I'm sitting there, and about 20 minutes in, the nerves start hitting like crazy, start going to the beers. You guys aren't getting me at my best today. I got to be honest. The nerves started hitting at 4:50. Start having a couple beers, a couple gummies, and they're trying to calm this down. I'm here to say, if there's ever another Game 7, that is the drug of a lifetime. No matter what adult thing I wanted to consume to try and bring myself to a reasonable level, that was not happening today. The pure emotional roller coaster we just went on, you can't replicate. You can't replicate what we just witnessed. First period. 2 goals and 4 shots. The second one would have been one of those ones that I would have yanked Helly based on our convo last time. The vibes were at an all-time low leaving the first.
Yep.
Second at 3-1 at intermission. I tweeted that video from Succession, just sitting on that street walk, sitting there staring into the abyss of what was coming. And then Cole Perfetti.
Let's go.
That first goal, Sidney Crosby-esque with the tip. And 1.6 seconds left. 1.6 seconds. I guess that's why they play 60 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's not a 59-minute, 59-second hockey game. With 1.6 seconds left, Nick Ehlers zips one to Kyle Connor, who finds Cole Perfetti to tie this thing. And the Jets did this. One of the things that was bothering me this afternoon in the anticipation of this game was some people kind of gearing up for the Mark Scheifele excuse. The Jets have trouble winning without Mark Scheifele in the lineup. This lineup, it is hard to lose Mark Scheifele. And I was already seeing the excuse train out. The Winnipeg Jets just put together one of their best efforts on home ice in Game 7 to advance to round 2 without Mark Scheifele and with Josh Morrissey leaving the game early. Full marks to the rest of the team on this night, especially. Got to go there first, and I'm going to the buff here, Mikey. Sorry about that, buddy, but I'm as hard on the guy as anybody. That right there was a Neil Pionk legacy game.
Oh, my God.
When you disrespect, it better be as loud on the compliments.
Yep.
Neil Pionk absolutely stepped up when Josh Morrissey went down and was an absolute rock for the Winnipeg Jets. Absolute rock for the Winnipeg Jets, both in the D zone and then on the final goal, blasting that through. The captain gets the tip. This game's over. Pure euphoria here. Pure euphoria. Neil Pionk. This is subject to change down the line. But we're worth every penny tonight. Neil Pionk. Worth every penny tonight.
Absolutely. All of the flowers for Pionk. It was... There was a point in the game where I was just kind of thinking to myself, man, Pionk is out here on every second shift. And that's when I looked down at my phone and, he's played, almost 40 minutes of the whole fucking game. It was absolutely incredible performance by Neil Pionk. That's what you want when you're paying the man big money next season. If there's more performances like that, I will shut the fuck up about Neil Pionk. I'll give him all the flowers. That was an incredible performance. That's kind of what I mean by it was a bit of a bizarro night tonight for the Jets. You had defensive master Neil Pionk bailing out the slip-ups by Dylan Sandberg. It was a little bit strange, and you got gutsy, massive performances out of guys that you maybe, wouldn't have chalked up to being the heroes, right? Out your number one center, out your number one defenseman. And for the first couple periods, it looked like you may have been out your number one goalie. Like he's physically standing there, but mentally, was he there? It just absolutely incredible for them to stay in it. And honestly, the goal with 34 seconds left, I believe it was, at that point is where I started to go, oh, okay, this is going to be the night that it is. It's going to be a classic performance of all the things that, go wrong for the Jets. And they would not give up. Cole Perfetti is fucking here. We've talked about the breakout. We've talked about the emergence of Cole Perfetti all year. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we were going to get to. So I can't wait for all of the trade Perfetti folk to finally, hopefully, have come around a little bit, right? This isn't a gloaty thing. I'm honestly hoping that they're Cole Perfetti fans after this, seeing that this guy is legit. This is the future of the Winnipeg Jets. He's maybe the smartest guy they've ever drafted. I'm so fucking in on Cole Perfetti. I love it. And we talk about Neil Pionk legacy game. Absolutely. Cole Perfetti legacy game. He had another goal that should have been earlier on. He's had 2 goals taken away by the refs and by Toronto this playoff run. These are his playoffs, in my opinion, especially with Scheifele getting hurt.
BS 1990 says, Nick, glad to see you smiling again, man. After the last game, you look like you had a nutshell on a loop in your head. And I got to say, in my opinion, this was the highest stakes game in 2.0 history. Even though they beat Nashville in Game 7 in 2017-2018, that was still perceived as a young core that was going to figure it out. If you remember on the hockey news, the Jets core was on the 2019 Cup champ projection at the beginning of the year. And it felt like, you know what, even if they lost to Nashville in 7, you were going to feel really good about the Jets' future. This game felt like the biggest moment for this core. This core is older now. They're entering their 30s. And I was feeling it for sure. I didn't know what to expect today. I was coming in, no expectations. I was going to live with the results, and we were going to see where the chips all fell. And they fell with our boy. We stuck by him when it wasn't always popular. Ooh. Cole Perfetti, clutch gene for Cole. Neil Pionk channels this inner beast that we haven't seen for the majority of his career. Adam Lowry finally scores a big goal and announces himself in this series. And the Winnipeg Jets coaching staff made an adjustment, swapping the centers. Lowry, Kyle Connor, and Jordan, Topline J on Twitch if he's tuned in, kind of convinced me of this last year, that I wanted to see Adam Lowry and Kyle Connor together.
Yep.
After that tweak, that line of Lowry, Connor, and Iafallo, 25 shot attempts, 4, only 4 against, 1-0 in goals. Fantastic adjustment on the fly, and that's what we've been wanting to see. Let's see some tweaks when things aren't going. It works out in a big way. So shout out to the coaching staff, seeing something and making a tweak to it. And here we are. I'm seeing it in the chat. People want the phone lines open. Let's open up those phone lines and let's hear what people have to say today. We've been riding the lows after losses. We've been riding the highs after wins. Is there a bigger high than a Game 7 double overtime win? I'm still processing, honestly. I don't know what the ride I just went on. There is nothing like sports. There's sometimes, like last show, we're talking about me not smiling and feeling depressed and feeling like we ride and die by this team sometimes. And it's stupid, honestly. I've had so many conversations in the group chats about why do we like sports? Why do we like doing this to ourselves? Because those lows and feeling those losses makes a night like today so much better. The pure euphoria of 15,000 plus in attendance on that tying goal, on that winning goal. I know Bobby's going to be in the show at some point tonight and chatting with him, and he's going to be calling in.
Are you ready for
You can't replicate what I just experienced. It was absolutely incredible.
You ready for top line landing strip all-star Yacker?
Hey, bring the Yacker, and we got to see if his vibes are better.
It is time.
And what he's going to be saying to his coworkers.
Hey, Yacker, thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, I'd love to talk about a fantastic Winnipeg Jets team tonight. I'll be the first one to say it. That last call, was I negative? Absolutely. I think everyone needed to hear some just FUs about the Jets and how we were just terrible that game. I am here with my tail in between my legs. First of all, Neil Pionk. Where has this guy been the last few months? What a horse. That's an insane game from that guy. You guys said it. And it's beating a dead horse a little bit, and it's not a hot take. But that guy earned his contract tonight. That was incredible. And to see Hellebuck out on top of his crease, challenging pucks, challenging guys on 2-on-1s, that's the Hellebuck we watched all year. Where was that guy the last 7 games? Doesn't matter because they all showed up tonight. I want to hear what you guys thought about Hayden Fleury tonight, a guy that the fan base on Twitter has been very split on, And at most, what he was given was he's got to be better than Stanley or Shen. Oh, my God. To come into a game, he had like 30 minutes tonight, too.
Hey, Yacker, it's good to hear you doing well, buddy. I was going to send out a search party for you after the last call. I appreciate you reaching out, and let's dive into Hayden Fleury right now, Mikey, as Yacker asked about here. What did you think of Hayden Fleury tonight?
Man, he was absolutely noticeable for all the right reasons tonight. A guy coming in cold, having to fill a spot that's, been rotated through for most of the year. Fleury's had an up and down season. He's had some really, nice moments, especially early on. He's struggled for stretches as well throughout the year. So for him to come in and not only come in cold and have to play in Game 7, which is massive, then with Morrissey going down and pairings getting moved around, more minutes having to be distributed, he was absolutely noticeable for all the right reasons. I thought he, along with Neil Pionk, were two of the more standout guys on D, especially early on when things weren't going well for the Jets. Fleury was one of the few Jets that were still noticeable for a good reason. So, is he my preferred guy for that third pairing most nights? Maybe not. But tonight he was a fucking hero in my opinion.
100%.
Hey, he stepped into a lineup in Game 7 and gave the team some juice from the back end. The bar, like you said, the bar is to be better than Stan, and he cleared that bar by a mile today. Shout out to Hayden Fleury jumping into a tough spot. And hey, Luke Schen's had a tough series. 10-3 in goals for versus against on this series. Another one against today, but I thought this was one of the better games we've seen of Luke Schenn, who had to play 25 minutes plus in this one, and he didn't cost them like some of what we saw on the road. So I want to say that this team really stepped up top to bottom, missing their best center and their best D-men. They got it done. And they earned this W completely in the biggest game of the year. It kind of looked like as that game went on, this has been a heavy series. This has been a physical battle. St. Louis is probably going to be the most physical series Winnipeg has to face.
Definitely.
Given the different stylistic aspect of Dallas. And the Blues brought the Winnipeg Jets to the brink, to their credit. I think the St. Louis Blues, from where they were December, Christmas, to where they were today, and putting the Jets on the brink after a President's Trophy race, hats off to them. Incredible showing. It was a physically dominant series. I think coming out of this one, there's a real chance of a snowball effect for the Winnipeg Jets. It seemed like this first round was a bit of a mental block. Similar to some of the conversations we've heard about the Toronto Maple Leafs core, I think that was filtering in here. And I think Connor Hellebuyck staying in that game and really coming up with some big saves down the stretch of it in this win might be something he could build off. We'll see where that goes. You're going to get Mark Scheifele back at some point. Hopefully we get some decent news about Josh Morrissey. I don't know what to expect there. But the Winnipeg Jets, I truly believe, have a chance to turn this into something now and build off of it. And I like the Dallas matchup more than Colorado. We might do a round 2 preview show another night. I haven't been focused on that at all. Didn't want to get ahead of it. But I do think the Winnipeg Jets have a real chance to do something here. I'm going to, Mikey, I think I sent you Bobby's number. We'll give him a call as he says he's got a lot to say. But, man, it feels good to be a Winnipeg Jets fan. It's been a while since we've gotten to feel like this, and we've rode some lows. This high feels excellent. Excellent.
Oh, I could not agree more, and I wish we weren't on the phone right now because, and I'm not kidding, I live right in front of a nature reserve, and I can't take a video because we are calling. There is 2 coyotes walking around my car, and if that is not a metaphor for fucking killing the old Jets 1.0, not killing it off, but kind of getting past that hump of they couldn't just take the next step. Oh my God, I don't know what is. And how about my final point? Cole per Crosby. Oh my God, what a coming out party for that guy.
Hey, we've been waiting to see it. He's been all over this series. Cole Perfetti was all over this series from game one, and the floodgates finally opened in the biggest game of the year. It was feeling Rantanen-esque at one point there. It really was.
He took that game into his own hands, and it was awesome to see from a young guy that I hope is going to be around this team for a long time. Listen, you guys have a great night. I hope you enjoyed the game in Canada Life. You guys have a good show.
Thanks, Yacker.
Hey, thanks, Jacker, for the call. We'll move along here if you want to give Bobby a call, and we'll start going through those lines as I see people are complaining already that they're unavailable. Hey, we'll make sure we get to everybody tonight. We're strapped in here. Tyler Branch points out Binner stood on his head, and hey, full marks to Binner, but I gotta say, ballsy to wear the whole funeral attire after not winning in Winnipeg since 2020? Ballsy on Binner's part, and he attended his own funeral in this one.
All right, we're pulling up Bobby now.
All right, Bobby.
Hello?
Hey, Bobby, you're on the landing strip.
Hey. Excellent.
Let's hear it, Bobby. Let's hear it.
Oh. You know me, big fucking Stan fan. But Fleury, holy fuck. The entire team after Morrissey went down, Jesus Christ. You and I were looking at each other thinking, oh fuck, what's going to happen? Boom. 2.2 seconds. And then to win it in double OT. Might be one of the greatest feelings in life.
You can't replicate what we just went through and how it all comes out at the end. You can't replicate it.
No, I almost fucking puked. it was unfucking believable. Like, did this just really happen?
NHL history for the latest Game 7 game-tying goal.
Wow. Just
insane.
Just wow. Insane. The crowd, I'm going to say something. The crowd's got to stop fucking booing and believing in their team. And also, if you're coming to watch a Game 7, and this is for the two girls that were behind me, you're coming to watch a Game 7, who gives a fuck what you did last week? You're there to watch Game 7. This is not a social event.
Lock in, eh? Get the fucking dialed in here.
Yeah. If you're not dialed in, go fucking home. Have a good night, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, great to hear from you. That was quite the experience. And I honestly don't even know what the volume was like in that game tire. I completely blacked out. I remember hugging you. We had the whole row in a big group hug.
Yep, both rows.
I
Our
don't
row
remember.
behind us in front. Beer everywhere. It was absolutely incredible.
I lost half a beer.
Yep.
Yacker was talking about $12 beers. I lost half of it on that game tying goal, and I couldn't have felt better about it. Could not have felt better about it.
You ready for a call from our friend King Canadian?
Let's go. Yeah.
Hey, King Canadian. Thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip.
Hey, boys, this is much better than the last time I called in.
A little bit.
Yeah. Let's bring the good energy today,
I don't
King.
have much of a voice yelling like a moron in my own house, but you know how the vibes are.
Yep.
Hey,
I got a few things to say. One, I want to start in preference by I want to talk about a lot of dudes' dicks, but there's a reason behind it. You know, Neil Pionk, they said, Neil Pionk, you're not worth that contract. Neil Pionk, you're a bottom pair defenseman. Do you know what he does? He pulls a 12-inch cock out of his hand, slaps her on the blue line, and says, listen here, boys. This is my blue line tonight. I'm going to show you how to play hockey. What a game out of Neil Pionk. What an animal. He looked like Dylan Sandberg and Josh Morrissey in one man playing 46 minutes. 46 minutes and whatever the very when he shoots that puck, slamming his stick on the ice, says, I want to win this game. And you know what Neil Pionk does? He wins that game for the Jets. What a game for him. Connor Hellebuck. They say you're a choker, Connor Hellebuck. You can't win in the playoffs. He rises out of the back of his net. He comes and stands at the front of his blue line, looks Colton Parayko in the eyes, and says, you got a smaller dick than me, and I'm going to stop this puck. And what an overtime performance from Connor Hellebuck. Brandon Tanev, they say you're not worth a second-round pick. You suck, Brandon Tanev. 12 minutes, 10 hits, 4 blocks. What an animal. No one had energy in the second. Brandon Tanev is out there like an animal. Stopped, 2 goals, not 3 goals. 2 pucks he ate for this team. 10 hits, are you kidding me? And Cole Perfetti, bench last year in the playoffs, you're too small. You can't play this game. You can't play playoff hockey. What does he do? He lays, I can't remember who it was, out. Someone much bigger than him. Scores a disgusting Sidney Crosby's goal. 1.6 seconds left. Amazing. Incredible. What a player. I would have to look at Oscar Sundqvist's ugly mug for another 6 months. What a disgusting looking human. I am so glad he is off my TV screen. Nasty looking human. Now that's my rant. I got a few things to say. For those who don't know me real well, I'm super superstitious about stuff. So halfway through the second, I felt the pee coming on for my golf trip this morning. And I was like, I'm not going to go pee. I'll just finish this period, and then I'll go take a leak. We score 1. Then go into the third, kind of forget about it. And then we score those last 2. And I'm like, well, I can't pee now, right? So I got to sit, do 2 overtimes, boys. Do what it takes for your team to win. It doesn't matter if you're living up in the bush in Saskatchewan. If you're not peeing is what's winning them, you stand and you not pee like a man. Anyways, boys, I'm pumped up. I don't really want to think of what's going to happen in the Stars round. Tonight we celebrate. What a game from this entire core, missing their top offensive center, their top defenseman, and they rose the whole team. Oh, one other person, Scott Arniel. They said you can't make adjustments. What does he do? He puts Mason Appleton on the 4th line. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know you were allowed to put Mason Appleton on the 4th line. And he did it. And they won. Incredible. And I want to shout out one last thing. Shout out my boy, Hayden Fleury, Carlisle, Saskatchewan. What a horse tonight. Floating around there. You could have seen the mane coming off the back of that guy, the way he was skating around. Incredible game. I am so piped. I live and die by every game. If we lose game 1, I'm going to be on here mad and pissed off. Doesn't matter. I'm so happy tonight, boys. I gotta go seating in a few hours, so I'm gonna hop off. But have a good rest of your boys' night.
Thanks, King. You too.
Hey, thanks, King, for the call. You are the man. That was unbelievable. Love you giving the Sask boys an extra shout out. That is the good shit, man. Incredible. This is what I love about this show.
Voicemail.
This show is for those with the passion. And King, you brought the passion.
Absolutely. And he doesn't have to worry. Jets are never losing at home again. So you're good to go, King. Game 1's going to be fine.
Hey, we're going for the 28-game playoff schedule where they just win at home.
We've got Luke from Atlanta, looks like.
Let's go.
Hey, Luke, you're on the landing strip. What would you like to talk about?
Say it fucking with me. Say it fucking with me. Winnipeg Jets win game fucking 7.
Let's go.
The Winnipeg Jets win game fucking 7. Luke, good to hear from you, my man. How's my favorite Tim Chalamet lookalike doing?
Oh, it's so good. I got kicked out of the library for this shit, but goddamn, it wasn't worth it. You know what went through my mind when I saw him score game 3, other than just pure fucking euphoria and jumping up into the air, screaming like expletives. You know what went through my mind? Where's the fucking pushback? Where's the fucking pushback? This is the pushback. This is the pushback that Coach Bones asked the question about after we lost the series to Vegas, after we lost the series to Colorado, after we were down 3-1. Where was the pushback? There it fucking is. There it fucking is. This game, it was so important to the Jets. I mean, you think about all the storylines coming into this, everything surrounding this, all the pressure that was put on this team, all the doubts. Hey, if you told me before this series that Hellebuck would have a below 850 save percentage, I would have thought we would have lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
But against everything, we still won. That's beautiful.
Hey, life is beautiful sometimes, Luke, and this is one of these nights. Zuch adds on to your point, important to this city. I haven't seen Winnipeg as alive as it was tonight in some time. It is beautiful, man. It is beautiful.
Yeah, one last thing to add. Not to get like personal all this shit, but I've been a fan of this team since they were the Atlanta Thrashers. I've been a fan of this team since fucking 2009. It just means more,
Yep.
Like, if you've been through with this team through all the ups and downs, through getting swept against the Ducks, through a heartbreaking 4-1 gentleman sweep against the Knights, through whatever the fuck the past 5 years were, it's just special. It's so special. And I'm so glad for this fan base that we have, for this community that we have. I mean, I've never been so happy to be part of something so big. And we're one of the smaller fan bases, but like, words cannot describe how beautiful it is celebrating it with all of you guys.
Hey, man. Hey, we're glad to have you, Luke. I'm lucky enough to get to chat with you on Twitter and the DMs. The fact you stuck through this, I know this city, there's a lot of people that know the pain of losing a team, and the fact that you stuck along and you get to experience those highs with us, we're glad you're here, buddy. It makes this all the more better. Like you said, seeing those lows makes a high like this even better, and that might have been the game of the franchise from the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, have a great rest of your night, man. Appreciate you having me. It's been great getting to know you the past few months. And go, Jets, go. Have a nice rest of your night.
You too. Thanks.
Hey, Luke, we're gonna call down to the library and try and get you your library card because it was worth all the noise and excitement you brought today. And on Luke's point on the pushback, how about this stat? How about this stat from the Winnipeg Jets tonight? This was the first time the Jets won a game this year when trailing by more than one goal in the third period. You want to put an end to the pushback talk? Doing that for the first time this year in Game 7?
Incredible.
Incredible.
You ready for a call from the mayor of Transcona?
I want to hear from the mayor of Transcona. Bring me T. Konopali. Let's hear it.
T. Konopali, thank you for holding. You're on the landing strip. What would you like to talk about?
Epic win. Let's see. I was at the left, Game 7, 1977, 10 years old. That was pretty damn good. Then I got through that Dave Ellett double overtime. This might compare to that.
Yep.
But lots of ups and downs. Oilers kicking our ass, taking us out in other series, couldn't get by Gretzky and all that shit. But they're asking what might have felt better than this is getting out of Headingley, picked up by the girl at the time in the van, and pulling over behind the downs, and the van was a rocking, if you know what I mean.
For our younger viewers, I hope they don't.
So that might have been the only feeling that topped this, was getting out of jail and getting that. So, but what a performance by Pionk. He earned that contract exactly. I guess we'll lay off him at least for next season. And going forward, I guess they're going to need a lot of recovery. Hopefully they can get Morrissey back and Shifley, and looks like Helly found his mojo.
It looks like it, hey. That's my takeaway from the back half as well. This could be a real launching point, Ticona. This could be a real launching point.
You know, if it goes any further, we might have to do another delve, another watch party.
We might have to. We might have to bring the community together in person during this run.
Yep.
You say the word and go Jets go.
Go Jets go, Paulie. Thank you for calling in. Always great to hear from you. And I see in Ehlers We Trust is asking me to look at the total of hits. You want to talk about a response game from the Winnipeg Jets. The St. Louis Blues have largely carried the physical game in this series. In 5 periods of hockey, the Winnipeg Jets out-hit the Blues 73-49. Bigger story, through almost 5 periods of hockey, the Winnipeg Jets held St. Louis to only 29 shots against.
Huge.
That defensive system that is the backbone of this team's success held up at home against the Blues, who for 3 out of 7 games found a way to break it.
You ready for you ready for Matt Rothman?
I'm ready for Matt Rothman. Bring him in.
Hey Matt, thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, as I told you guys, last game, today was my graduation, and a lot of that time today, I thought I was gonna be bawling my eyes out after the game, but what a game, honestly. Perfetti, 2 goals, and no bigger one than the last one. I mean, it's so funny how this guy was being scratched just last year, and now he's become such a difference maker in this playoff. And as well, I gotta say, what a fantastic game by Hayden Fleury. I mean, it's a clear difference between what we see between Stanley and Fleury, and yeah, I think overall, that's the big point I'm taking away as well. Fleury is definitely the guy that should be in the lineup instead of Stanley. Now, it, of course, does come down to if Morrissey can go, because if he can't, then that probably means Stanley's coming back in the lineup. But, yeah, overall, I'm just glad my graduation day didn't get ruined.
Hey, Matt, I'm glad to hear from you. I'm glad your grad did not get ruined. Once again, congrats on the big day, and I'm glad you get to celebrate it here with us. Definitely the biggest goal of Cole Perfetti's career. Definitely a big game for Hayden Fleury to step in. And on top of that, Neil Pionk just has the game of his lifetime. Matt, enjoy the rest of your night, buddy. You've earned a good one here. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Matt. Zooch40 says, "Are we doing late night confessions at this point?" And it is, I guess it's the landing strip after dark. You never know what's gonna come out. Zooch40 also says that Helly sounded like he was tearing up during the post-game interview. I haven't seen anything from the post-game. That MVP chant was insane before the game. Obviously, it got a little quiet in that arena pretty quick with the Blues' early jump. And it was weird. You want to talk about actually a rewrite. This game is a rewrite in its own right, where early on in this game, Kyle Connor turns the puck over in the middle of the ice. It goes the other way, and then he doesn't pick up the Blue backdoor. 1-0 St. Louis. The next goal, Connor Hellebuyck just gets beat clean from out wide. A problem that's been. The next goal, Nick Ehlers should receive a pass, and then it's a comedy of errors from all their core guys on the way back. Where if they would have lost this game, you would have been looking at this game like the core once again stumbled in a big moment. And they did early on in this game. And they are able to rewrite the script on this game, rewrite the script on their own narrative, and pull out a double OT thriller after tying it up with 1.6 seconds left.
Unreal. You ready for the next caller?
Yeah, let's go to it.
Hey, caller. Thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip. What's your name, and what would you like to talk about?
Hey, Mikey, Nik, it's Brendan again from Edmonton. Just wanted to shout out you guys. Great show tonight, and holy crap, man. I'm buzzing right now. The girlfriend's ready to go to bed, and I just can't even settle at all.
How do you sleep after that game?
This team has got me hyped like nobody else, man. Like, it was crazy, and just watching the battle level. I mean, there's a lot of heroes tonight. Everybody seemed to step up. I didn't see anybody that was really slacking at all when they were on the ice. They were giving it their all, playing hard. I mean, Pionk and Sandberg both over like 44 minutes each, 49 or 47 or something like that for Pionk.
Yep, 47.
Unbelievable efforts by the back end after Morrissey goes down. I'm crazed. And for me, I mean, Morgan Barron stepping into that 3C role, just unsung guy. Didn't score anything, but he was playing hard every single minute out there. 24 minutes or something like that for him too. Just nuts.
That sounds right.
Oh my God.
These
guys were.
Go for it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking, like, it is crazy, and you point out, like, just how much everyone stepped up after Morrissey. In Game 5, I felt the Jets' best stretch of their game came after Mark Scheifele left. And then today, after Josh Morrissey leaves, they do the same thing. What a testament to everybody on the roster when a big blow like that happens on a guy that they really can't afford to lose. Absolutely everybody stepped up. Everybody.
Absolutely. Like the five guys that we can't be without, Scheifele, Hellebuck, Morrissey, Sandberg, and then I guess you'd say Casey as well on the offensive side. I mean, Kyle Connor, after his lackluster back check on the first goal, looked unbelievable the rest of the game. I mean, he was battling on pucks like I've never seen him before in his life. He wanted this game just as much as anybody else out there, and I got to give him props. I mean, and he stepped up in a big way. I think, what was it? Him and Lowry were both over 30 minutes each on the forward side. Low's too. Just I know that goal. Like, everybody's going to be talking about that thing forever, but holy crap, what a gutsy leader we have in the captain here. Like, you can't say enough good things about this guy, and I'm so impressed with him and what he does without getting a lot of the accolades. I mean, like, he's not a top player in the league, but he does everything for this team. He's on the PK, 5-on-5. He can play power play if you need him to do. Like, he'll go to the front of the net, he'll fight, he'll back check, he'll hit. He'll block shots. There isn't anything he won't do for this team. And, just by sheer will, he has just inspired this team. And, all this stuff, but Scott Arneal with the line blender too, pulling that out in the third period, really switching things up, putting those different combinations together really, in my mind, paid off too, which was something we didn't see from Bones when they were getting down in those games or behind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's something that was frustrating me. I was like, does Arneal have it? And he makes that switch. And Adam Lowry, hasn't had an Adam Lowry-esque series. He's had a bit of struggles, steps up in the biggest game. I thought that was their best line this entire night when Lowry and Iafallo get paired up with Kyle Connor. And for anyone that hasn't seen it, Lowry did a post-game interview with TNT, and Bones was on the production tonight. And there's a real nice heartfelt moment between those two and what tonight meant for them. Adam Lowry talking about, obviously, the fans and the crowd in Winnipeg kind of getting a bad rep. But Bones and Lowry share a nice little moment there, so something to seek out if you haven't seen that. He came up big. Oh, captain, my captain, gets the game winner. But I thought that was his best game of the series in the biggest moment.
I'm ecstatic. I'm looking forward to this next series, man. Dallas is going to be a tough opponent, but we're battle tested now. I don't think anybody, like you said, is going to be anywhere near as physical as the Blues were this series. Like, we took a beating. Like, I have to think them putting Fleury in today was a cautionary thing that they did because they felt like Morrissey might not be able to go the whole game. Because they have put Stan in every other home game, and then they switch it up for this one, and they put Fleury in. And that's got to be a foot speed issue with Stanley to maybe he's not going to be able to keep up if they have to go to let a fewer D-men. And, Fleury, he steps up in the biggest game of his life too, and absolutely comes through 100%.
Hey, cannot disagree with you at all. Thank you for calling in, Brendan. Try and get some sleep when you get able to settle this down. I don't know when I'm going to sleep tonight. It was great hearing from you, my man. What a great game to be a part of this, and I'm glad we all get to enjoy this together.
Go Jets, go, and have a great show, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Definitely an interesting point on the Fleury thing, though I think Stanley's banged up because they were calling him game time. A couple points here, though, too, I want to dive to. Andre Lavalley says, big difference in response from Morrissey and Scheifele got injured in the Vegas series 2 years ago. Completely different versions of a response from this team. They continue to show that there's seemingly something different about them. Gilbert Marion says, I'm just really proud of the boys. No quit, tons of heart. And I want to pair two things here. Curtis Weave says, okay, on the third goal, did 81 try to pass to 91, or is he trying to get it on net? That looked like he was passing the whole way. Nick Ehlers looks at him. He zipped it the other way. And Kyle Connor, after a tough start to this game, Zooch40 says, give Casey some credit. He was a hound dog tonight after that bad back check.
Yep.
I thought after a real tough start, Kyle Connor, just like everyone we're talking about, the Winnipeg Jets top down elevated their game after losing one of their most important players, and Kyle Connor is one of their most effective players, one of their most important players. He was a part of that too after a big tough start. Comes up with a huge assist on the game tying goal.
Massive.
I gotta throw something Tyler Branch's way. I need to hear from him in the chants. Who says, well, not all of us really enjoyed this game, just saying. Over on Twitch, Zooch40 says, think of the jubilation we are feeling right now. How is St. Louis feeling 1.5 seconds ago until the second round, only to lose? Tyler, I need you to deep down and let us know what you're going through right here, and we could kind of go through it, because I know when I was sitting in that arena, I was standing the entire overtime. I was leaning on the rail. I was pacing. I didn't know how I would handle it if that did not go the right way. So if you can give us a little bit of an insight on how things are going over there, I might have to read it out.
Let's see what our next caller thinks of it as well.
Sounds good. And Tyler Branch called it. He said he were going to OT in Game 6.
Hey, caller, thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip. What's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Hey, this is Kishore calling from the States.
Hey, Kishore.
Nick,
How's it going, Kishore?
Nick, you're the lucky charm. They're 4-0 with you in the building, aren't they?
They are. I am now 4-0 in the playoffs.
Are you the secret to all of this?
If people want to believe that and I could keep going to the games for the rest, I'll be the secret sauce if that's what we're going to run with here.
What I want to say is like all the analysis has been spot on. We've called out like all the heroes. We've been fans for this team forever, and like the chips are stacked against us in so many ways, with players not wanting to come here, be in the small market, we're not in a no tax area, and all I want to see from this team is a willingness to put it all on the line and just fight for the city, fight for the fans, and just fight. And tonight we saw that to the nth degree. They never quit. They had every reason to quit. Their three best players by every stretch of the imagination were down and out, including Hellebuck wherever he was. But Arneal, when he had the chance, the TNT guys here in the States were calling for him to be pulled when he gave up the third goal. He stuck with them. And then none of those guys moped after Morrissey and Scheifele weren't there. They kept fighting. And that's all we can ask for from this team. And that's what will make tonight worth it, is because they went from being the President's Trophy team to like the city's champion tonight. And I know we have a long way to go, but they fought in a way that like deserves the respect of Winnipeg, and I couldn't be more proud of them for it.
Honestly, as tough as this show would have been with a loss, that was my exact takeaway as soon as they tied it up and we were going into overtime, was you had to feel proud regardless of the result, and the one result would have stung a lot more. They laid it all on the absolute line in a way we have not seen this team lay it on the line in elimination games. I mean, normally in elimination games, we've seen the patented Winnipeg no-show. And today, despite having those excuses in the back pocket, and I think this team and this org in years past in the lead up to this had no problem reaching for those excuses when they needed them, This team laid it all on the line. No excuses. Let's go get it done. And they come back for the first time this year in third period with a multi-goal deficit. It's incredible.
Well, I tell you what, I have a Google Flights page open for travel from San Francisco back to Winnipeg, open on my screen now. I did not think I would have this open a couple hours ago. I will see you back there, Nick.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Kishore. We will definitely link up if you're coming back for round 2. I got to keep it going. The chat is now saying we're 1-0 in the playoffs since the inception of the landing strip. I've been in-house. I got to keep riding it, though I got to point out I'm going to Ireland in the end of May. So we might have to work some things out here.
We'll work some magic.
All right. Well, have a great one, Nick. Thanks everything for what you do. And keep it going.
Hey, appreciate it, Kishore. Appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this. We're having a blast doing it. And honestly, for me, getting to do it with this community and be a part of this and get to talk to each other and get to enjoy the highs, feel the lows together, go through some therapy, and enjoy a win like that. This is what it's all about. This is what sports is all about, the community, the triumph, everything like that, and we get to finally experience here after a lengthy stretch of not. So, hey, thanks for being here. It was nice to hear from you, buddy.
You ready for our man on the ground in St. Louis, Blake?
Oh, I'm ready to hear from Blake. He's got to be buzzing today. He's got to be buzzing.
Blake, thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I talk about having 3 heart attacks tonight. Yeah, what a win though. You know, you can't complain. What a win. Just I'm so mind blown how they played in the first period. I guess Scott O'Neill had to say something that rang a bell or something. You know, Connor Hellenbuck, as the game went on in the third period and in overtime, double overtime, you know, he started to look really solid for once. So, you know, as I called in before, after last game, you know, like I said, I was saying anything can happen at any time, and I'm really happy that he's starting to at least look somewhat in his, I guess, you know, he realized next goal is in is we're done. So, but yeah, my head's all over the place right now, but I feel bad, you know, at the same time for my pops because he was I watched the third. I went over to his place during the third period to be honest with you guys, just to kind of I think just compose my clarity with the situation and about to say congrats almost. And you know, with 2 minutes left in the game, he's actually, funny enough, real happy, but sweating at the same time. And then that second goal goes in, and as he was standing up, he took a seat on the couch, and we're both staring at that point at the TV. And he for some reason he has a real big issue with Ryan Suter. He can't stand him on it, kind of like us with Logan Stanley in a sense. He's like that with Ryan Suter. And he of course, he was on the ice when that happened. He freaked out, and I'm jumping up. He's freaking out. We're both mixed emotions. And, you know, I'm so happy right now. But I got to feel for him at the same time because such a great series. And how the Blues, you know, obviously I live here, so from the Four Nations on, you know, they had a really good. They were the hottest team going into the playoffs. So I mean, for the Jets, you know, to overcome that, it's great positivity. And yeah, Nick, I'm pretty sure you guys were there, or you were there, and yeah, talk about your good luck charm, no?
Apparently so. I could imagine the vibes at your place with that friendly family rivalry going on, and really, this was a great series from both teams. Like, this was gonna be whoever lost this game in overtime at this point was going to be heartbroken based on that. I got to take Mikey today, so Mikey was a part of that. We were, we were hugging each other for quite a while after that ended. But yeah, you just got to be proud of this team. It wasn't always easy in this series. It didn't always look pretty, especially on the road. But they come back. They're down early after some more struggles from the goaltender. They lose their number one defenseman and just go to work. They go to work, come back in this game, and then win in double overtime by getting to the net and getting a puck through. It's incredible.
Talk about that too, man. Crazy. Morrissey didn't play. No Shifley in the Cole Perfetti legacy game. I mean, really, they stepped up big time. Neil Pionk, as much as I give him a hard time, what a game from him. 47 minutes. I mean, that's Chris Pronger numbers, to be honest, at that point. And funny enough, he's a St. Louis guy right now. And yeah, no, I could not be more happy. It's about time we felt some positivity and just happy to move on to round two. And at least I won't be going to any more games where I watch the Jets get blown out anymore. So I'm very stellar about that. Yeah, no, I'll let if anyone else wants to call, but it's just, yeah, guys, what a win. Nikolai Ehlers too, to say in the overtime, you could tell he had great energy, and I'm excited to see what he brings in round two, considering his contract was up. So no, at least we get one more round out of him at least. And yeah, I hope. I don't know if you guys know or not about Morrissey's injury or not. Hopefully it's nothing too major, but obviously we're going to celebrate tonight. But yeah, I guess that will be my last question. Do you guys know anything on that?
I didn't see anything on Morrissey yet. Mikey, have you? Has anyone in the chat as well? Was there any updates on Morrissey?
Nope, I've got nothing yet from Arneal yet that I saw.
All right, no worry. All right, guys, I'll let you be. But yes, what a Jets W, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, Blake. Zooch40 says, I'm not nearly drunk enough, Nick. You promised a rough show because I'm not at my best. Go swig 'em, Mickey.
Check on him tomorrow is what Arneal said, according to Zooch, which makes sense. That's been the answer after every single game when they've asked about somebody's health. It's been, we'll know more tomorrow. So that's, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how Morrissey's doing.
Yes, we will. And I'm getting bugged over on YouTube from Turd saying planning a trip to Ireland in May is the most Lynham thing I've ever fucking heard. What a dope. And says it's going to be the top of the line
top of the line podcast. Excellent.
In May and June. And hey, the podcast will continue. There'll be some late nights. I'll be pulling the Slick McGuire and recording late after I find a little Irish pub to watch the game. We will keep it up. And you know what? For Zooch 40, I'll take a little swig here.
Absolutely. The show will continue. The calls will continue.
The Jets are going around too, baby. Let's go.
Cheers. While you take that swig, I'm going to bring in our next caller. Hey, caller. Thank you for holding. You're on the landing strip. What's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Hey there, guys. It's AJ. Hopefully you can hear me all right. You sound a little fuzzy to me, Mikey, but hopefully we're good.
You're sounding good on our end, AJ.
Yeah, you sound good, AJ.
Yeah, anyhow, I want to call in. I was pretty excited, like everyone else, to talk about the game tonight. I'm not going to rant the way Yarber Yacker did last game. I thought that was a fun thing, but there's a totally different direction tonight. So, and I mean, everyone touched on all the stuff, the injuries to the guys and everything. But one thing I just no one really touched on that I thought was kind of interesting was Luke Shen. Some of his hitting. I mean, he usually has like his plus minus on hits are always in the good. But today I felt like he was doing meaningful hits. He was actually separating guys from pucks and everything like that. He was way more interesting to watch. Felt like he would just kind of rack up these hit numbers, and people say he's good at that. But it was like meaningless. And something. I mean, I don't want him out there, but I guess he's one of the guys. I know everyone talked about Fleury and stuff. He had a great night, but yeah, Shen's night there just seemed like it was something different. I know Tanev led the team in hits. He had 10, and I think Lowry and Shen both had 7, but it was different to kind of see him doing some meaningful hitting and actually kind of matching that energy with St. Louis, because they were doing it in a meaningful way and actually getting some vibes off of it in the last first 6 games, right? So just something I thought was a little bit different. So.
Hey, and I think that's a astute point, AJ. Obviously, Luke Shen, especially on the road, has been a focal point with his struggles, but some of that comes from running out of position, and he doesn't have the foot speed to kind of make up with that. I thought he was more effective picking his spots today. And I see, just to add to the hit parade, Jeff Cabeles mentions Ehlers was laying the body too,
for sure.
and Choices TK mentions Ehlers had 6.
And then
so
I just had a quick little personal story. Again, you're kind of sound choppy to me, so hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, just cut me off. But my little guy was saying, I hope the Jets lose tonight because I'm tired of the neighbors screaming all the time, which is really cute. And then he stayed up for the double overtime, and by the end of it, he's wearing full hockey gear. He's got goalie pads on and everything. He's saying, when we staying up for all the Dallas games. So just as a dad, it's really fun to see my son kind of turn the corner and get really excited about some Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey. So just kind of a fun personal story that he changed his tune on it. Gets to stay up late, have some snacks, watch the home team do well. So just kind of a fun little thing there. So I figured I'd share that, just a different side of the story that everyone's enjoying tonight. That's a personal one. So anyway, I'll just leave it there. I'll let you guys continue. And have a great night, guys.
Thanks so much, AJ.
Hey, that's what Game 7's all about. You love to hear that about your boy. Could be trouble on the horizon if he wants to be a goalie. You might have the weird boy. You might have the weird son, AJ. But that's what this is all about at the end of the day. So I'm glad to hear. Thanks for sharing that story.
Hey, we need more goalies right now. We need more goalies in Canada. We've got a goalie shortage, it feels like. So absolutely, I will always be here to propel more goalies. Get your kids into it.
And Ticona Pauly says, first start to that guy's kid. Also want to read something out from Darkness, a Blues fan here. Just want to say that was a hell of a series and wish you luck on round 2. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for being here. Obviously, not the easiest night on your end, and that was a hell of a series. That was the game of my lifetime in Winnipeg. A double OT thriller like that. Obviously feeling better being on the good side, but this series front to back was up there in Winnipeg Jets lore, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's actually something that I wanted to ask both you and the chat at large. Where does this game fall for you in terms of individual sporting moments for the home teams, whether that's Jets, Bombers, whatever your local team is? Where does this moment fall for you?
For me, the ones that stand out were obviously Game 7 Nashville, which I think is an all-time series in the Cap era. Both of those teams were at the peak of their powers. Winning the lottery draft was a big one. This would be probably number 2, but number 1 personally because I got to be there for it. I will never forget tonight. I can't replicate what just happened. We may never see a game like that again.
No.
This might be, you know what? This is number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Because of it.
It's the latest goal in Game 7 history in the National Hockey League. It's the first time the Jets had come back from having multiple goals down in the third. Everything that could have gone wrong in the first 2.5 periods absolutely did. There's no reason that they should have even been in this that late. And to come back, tie it with 1 seconds left, that building goes fucking insane. And to get the winner at the end of it to go through is... Yeah, I think this has to be the number 1 moment for me at a live sporting event.
Tyler Branch says it's going to be a top 5 for you, even with your upcoming victory of the Stanley Cup. Calls his shot after the series ends. And I got to say, Mikey, can we do one more thing here for our boy Brandon wants one more sack solo, and then we'll get into the From Financial Faceoff, the 3 stars, and work our way out of this tonight.
Let's do it.
They're going to round 2, baby. Let's go to the From Financial Face-Off, where we want to know, what did you think was the difference in this series for the Winnipeg Jets to get over the hump and finally get across that first round first round hump. Mikey, what do you think?
All right.
Start it off, buddy. What is your From Financial Faceoff difference maker of this game or series?
In-game adjustments. Something we have been harping on all fucking season. In-game adjustments. When things aren't going your way, when the pucks aren't going you have to change something. You can't just expect to keep going out there with the same lineup. And finally, whether it's, desperation of this is your last game of the year potentially, Arniel finally just went, fuck it, this is what we're doing. And the blender came out in a positive way. This is exactly what we wanted to see. There was pushback, there was fight. They were actually getting into the areas that they needed to. So, yeah, for me, no question about it. It was the ability to make in-game adjustments for the first fucking time in a meaningful way. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Hey, that's a great one. That's a great one. And those adjustments pay off in spades. I'm going to read around on some of the entrants tonight. Zooch 40 starts it off with Cole Perfetti's coming out party for his From Financial Face-Off. And it certainly was. And we've been talking about it. He's been all over this series. Comes up with 2 huge goals. Sidney Crosby-esque tip. And then the game tire with 1.6 seconds. HH Living Local. From Financial is a team of motherfucking destiny, despite my own doubts and anxieties. And I do think, when you look at this series, they didn't have Gabe Velarde for 4 games. Nick Ehlers returns in Game 7. Connor Hellebuyck puts up an .850, which is way below his standard. Josh Morrissey's hurt throughout it and then finally leaves a game. There's a lot for this team that could still go right, and they could figure out in round 2, and we are starting the slate clean. I think that is something to be excited about here. Zooch 40 says credit to Arniel, though. He was the one coach that did it where others never had. And that was our big frustration with bonus, right?
Yep.
Scott Arniel finds the right buttons. Choices TK says From Financial Faceoff is play skaters and puck movers on defense. It does work. Rana's Concert Brian says the Connor Iafallo Lowry line was dominant and ultimately got the winner. I hope we see that line stick together moving forward. I liked a lot of what I saw from it and would love if that stuck together, and you know what that means. It brings back one of my favorite combinations, so I'd like to see it. Rye Guy says the From Financial Faceoff is Pionk stepping it up and just being a force on both ends. Arguably the biggest performance of the night. Neil Pionk, that's a great entrant, and that's where I wanted to go. If you're going to disrespect someone, the accolades have to be as loud as the criticism. And Neil Pionk puts together his best game as a Winnipeg Jet with all the odds against them. Josh Morrissey going down. That is the Neil Pionk legacy game, and he's earned a grace period from me in that regard. Phenomenal showing on his part. Curtis Weeb says the From Financial Faceoff was Ehlers' return. Dr. Jet says Perfetti. Turd Ferguson says the From Financial Faceoff was 5 D-men playing like top pair D for 3+ periods in Game 7. Stepping up in a big way like that cannot be understated.
Yep.
Jeff Cabile says the From Financial Faceoff is Game 7. They answer the Blues' physical game, and this was tilted the other way in the physical aspect, and it showed. BS 1990 says the defensive play on home ice held the Blues to very little in Winnipeg. And I want to say going into this game, it was something like 16, 19, and 23 shots against for the Blues, and then over 5 periods they held them to 29. Winnipeg's defensive game, which again is this team's blueprint, held the Blues in check in Winnipeg in a big way.
Absolutely. You ready to hear from your average Jets fan?
Let's hear from your average Jets fan. Let's go.
Right on. Thanks for holding. You're on the landing strip now. What would you like to talk about?
Hey, guys, this is your average Jets fan once again. And I want to call in because, like I said to Nick when I've been able to meet up with him, I need to issue an apology to Cole Perfetti. Man, I am so sorry. I really thought that Cole Perfetti's foot speed would kind of cap him out at a two-way defensively responsible, like 50 to 60-point winger, which is okay. I wasn't on like the train of guys who were like, oh, he's totally terrible and he's going to bust or whatever, but I didn't think he was going to be like this elite top-line winger. And everything that he has shown us, oh my God, Perfetti is just incredible. His vision and his understanding of the game of hockey, it's just oh my God, he's on a whole other stratosphere. And I think that him being able to do it at both ends of the ice, like the cross checks that he throws and breaking up plays with his stick, even though he's one of the slowest players in the NHL, is just like amazing. I really think this guy's in like untouchable, like future point per game level trajectory.
Hey, nice to see you coming around. Me and Mikey were loyal soldiers that could not quit on Perfetti. And there was times it was feeling rocky because of that foot speed. But I truly think in the history of the Jets 2.0, Cole Perfetti is the highest IQ player we've seen drafted and developed in Winnipeg.
Yep.
He thinks the game at such a high level. And everything's kind of falling into place for him now. Obviously, the emergence of the Perfetti angle. And I know one thing that's really frustrated my brother when I was taking him to some of the games was the Blues until today really did bully the Jets, both in the like physical contact version, but the game between the game, especially when you're there live and you're seeing what's kind of happening between the whistles, you're seeing what's happening when guys are going off and all that. And Cole Perfetti, all series, was consistently involved in that aspect where if he was late on a hit, he was going to give you a cross check. If he didn't like something he did, he was actually going to answer the bell. We're seeing the coming out party of Cole Perfetti, and it is so big for this team's upside, this team's ceiling. I honestly kind of look at the Jets up front, similar to the Toronto Maple Leafs, where they have a core four of offensive players, and Cole Perfetti's emergence is emerging into that number 5, which is a huge development.
He's on like that Matthew Nice trajectory. I actually think that that's a great comparison, even though like they're completely like they're different body frames and whatever. But like yeah, he's tremendous, and I think that just the tips and the redirects, like I think they're goals that like casual hockey fans would kind of look at and they would think like, oh, like he's kind of just at the right place at the right time. But I think like the more that you watch the Jets and you watch Cole Perfetti, you understand that's the basis of his whole game, right? He understands where the puck is going to be.
100%, which makes up for that foot speed, man. I'm still hoping at training camp next year we get a look at him as a center, because I think he might answer that center problem for them. I really do think he could do it.
100%. And the reason why I didn't want him to be a winger is because I thought that, well, just with the foot speed, it would be hard for him to probe into the middle of the ice and the dirty areas. If he's at center, he's kind of already there. And I think like at training camp, once Cole Perfetti has an opportunity to learn like how to tip pucks and win and like get into those net front battles, I really think that's a role he could excel in. But second thing that I wanted to talk about is Nick and Mikey, you guys were in the game. You were there in person. You're the lucky charms. Like somewhere halfway through that game, Connor Hellebuck went from like passive, like Connor Hellebuck, where it's like, I was just watching him on the television and my dad was worried because of what was going on, like this whole playoff run now. And I was like, no, he's back. Like just from the way he's standing, it's like that Connor Hellebuck, like mojo, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That aura, when he's locked in, there's an aura to him. And he seems to have found it, which is crazy because honestly, and I'll give Arneal credit for sticking with him, I would have yanked him after number 2. And I think it is huge that he stayed in and was a piece of this and found his game down the stretch and was able to slay his own little Jordan Bennington demon. Even Elliot Friedman was talking about how he feels there's something really there between those two. I think that was huge for him to stay in that game and for him to finally find it, which could just parlay into the snowball effect against Dallas.
100%. Like it's just, oh my God, once he's really engaged and he's in the game, like you can just see it from his movement. He's not small. When he knows it's like a shooter, he's coming out to challenge the shot. And so many times in overtime where it's like guys are coming off the rush and I'm seeing him challenge, I'm like, oh, we're going to be good, man. We got Connor Hellebuck here. Like, we got B. Hartbuck here. The Jets have set themselves up on a great upward trajectory, in my opinion. We need to find out what's happening with Morrissey, but like we're going to get two teams now that won their rounds having to go through shit with being shorthanded, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes.
It's time to buckle in for a second round. My heart could barely handle one. It's good. It's not going to get easier from here. Your average Jets fan, thanks for calling in tonight. It was great to hear from you, man. You have a great rest of your night, eh?
I love you, boys. Take care. The landing strip is easily like the best part of the Jets day game experience, being able to meet up with everyone afterwards.
Thank you so
Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Back to a couple from financial face-offs from the chat, and then we'll get into the 3 stars as we approach 12:30 here. The Marka Brandon says, the From Financial Face-Off, Iafallo in the top 6 while Apples moves to the bottom line. Full buy-in to not give up. 73 hits with 50 shots and a bounce back from Helly. Hey, and who would have thought some of those minor tweaks make a big difference? And we've talked about those names for a while.
And who would have thought putting Appleton on the 4th line was a good idea? Who could have guessed?
Not me. Curtis Weave says, from Financial Faceoff is Davis Payne. And the assistant coaches of this team have been all over this team's success this year. Matty wins all the way on the East Coast at this hour. Good on you, man. Hayden freaking Fleury is his From Financial Faceoff difference. Played his best game in a Jets jersey to date. All around effective out there and moved the puck well. Go Jets, go. Whiteout love from Moncton. Moncton, a couple hours behind. Incredible. Thank you for being here. Ben Howard says, I was writing the Jets obituary. What a comeback. Imagine how proud Bones was of that pushback. And pushback could be the From Financial Faceoff today, as for the first time this season, they come back from down multiple goals in the 3rd period. Down their number 1 center, down their number 1 defenseman. This is a huge type of game to you get over this hump with all that was put in front of you and you got over. This could really parlay into something for this team here.
Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, and they still found a way to pull this together and get the win and get through to round 2. These type of series and these type of wins are the things that you look back on after a really deep run and go, that was it. That was a turning point. If they can find a way to put together another string of wins like this will, we may be looking back on this in the future as something truly special.
Tyler Branch, I like this perspective from Tyler Branch too, from the St. Louis side. It's really hard for me as a Blues fan to be too bummed out. We just took the best team in the West to Game 7 and right down to the wire, double overtime. This was a hell of a series. Both teams deserved their wins in this one. A few weeks ago, we were looking to sell at the deadline to this. I'll take that. And that's an organization with a cup in their back pocket in the last 6 to 7 years. They took a bigger step than you'd expect. I think that's good perspective from Tyler on the other side of things. Turd also points out that it's really hard, it's between Benner and Helly. Only one of those 2 goalies is still perfect in Game 7s for your information. Like that. I'm also going to throw, while we're here, Choices TK says 19 YouTube subscribers to 500. Come on, folks. Let's get this show to that number. So if you're still around and you're listening this the next day, we're getting close to 500. We're going to get there during round 2. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Donnie Fester, who I got to see in-house tonight, says, Donnie Fester here. What a night. Never doubted the Jets for a second. Jordan Binnington stinks. Perfetti is the man. Love the show. And I got to say, I was going for laps before the game. I was sitting there way too early. As much as I like to feel it, the nerves started creeping up, and I started doing laps, and I ran into Donnie Fester. That man, cool as a cucumber before Game 7. Cool as a fucking cucumber before Game 7. The nuts of steel on old Donnie impressed me. He was able to calm me down a little bit here.
And he loves the show.
He loves the show. He loves the show. Harjivana Parwana says, from Financial Faceoff is Rick bonus for cleaning out the shit in this locker room. Absolutely. We got one more question for the chat and for you, Mikey. Then we're going to go into the 3 stars on the way out. Tyler Branch is going to be buying a jersey, a Jets jersey, after this series. He's been telling us all week, and he wants to know which Jets jersey does he buy? A new Jets or the old school Jets? He's getting one. What Jets jersey should Tyler Branch get? I want to hear your input.
I feel like there's one very obvious answer that gets to encapsulate everything that he's looking for there. You get a Heritage New Jersey. It's one of the new ones. It's still in the new colors, but you get the Heritage logo, and they are, in my opinion, and I think a lot of the chat's opinion, the nicest jerseys in the National Hockey League. So Tyler Branch, easy one for you, my friend. It's the Heritage jerseys. I like the blue homes, but if you like the white aways, you can't go wrong in either direction. How about you?
Yeah, the Heritage jersey is a nice mix of both old school and new school. I do think they are the best. Over on Twitch, we're getting it has to be Pionk or Perfetti.
Oh, for names, absolutely got to do Perfetti.
Over on YouTube, we're getting Heritage Classic White, Timo Solani Blue, Heritage Pink, Solani 13, or Bobby Hall. If you're going an old school Jet, like if you want to go someone from the past, it's got to be Howard Chuck. It's got to be Howard Chuck. The guy's got a statue.
Absolutely.
He wore
Ducky
the
all
old logo. I think if you're going old school, I think it's got to be Dale Howard Chuck. I think like that's kind of the representation one.
Agreed.
It's a class. It's like a star level player.
You do get
level player.
Honorable mention if you are one of the kids like myself who watched Solani's rookie season and it made you fall in love with hockey. A Solani 90s Jets jersey is real nice too, but I'm with you. It'd be Ducky all the way. That's what mine is.
I would go Ducky. I went. That's the first spot I went today. Got an Uber downtown, made a little stop to the dispensary.
Hell yeah.
And then walked to the Ducky statue to get a pic and kind of just stare at it for a second before walking into the madness. That's where I would go. Let's go into the 3 stars tonight, and let's get out of here as we get late into the night. We want to hear from you. Who are your 3 stars in this hockey game? Game 7, Winnipeg versus St. Louis. Let's get into it.
Let's hit it. Right on. Oh, Julian, you're killing me. Julian saying, hey, Mikey, is this a bad spot to say I wasn't born yet for Timu's rookie season? Yes, that is a bad spot for my very old self to have to read that out. Thank you, Julian Labossiere.
Who do you got tonight in this one for your 3 stars, Mikey?
So normally I try to write this down ahead of time so that I'm ready for it. This was not one of the nights where I prepped this ahead of time, so I'm going just kind of off the dome on my 3 stars tonight. It's a little bit tough because there are so many guys who you can kind of point to as massive performances, but I think I'm going to keep it pretty basic. I'm going to go at number 3. I'm going to go number 3, Connor Hellebuck from, the end of the 3rd period to the end of the 2nd OT. That version of Connor Hellebuck, I'm giving the 3rd star. Once he kind of locked back in, once he found his mojo again, that's the Hellebuck that we've been, accustomed to seeing. That's our MVP. So 3rd star, I'm going to give it to Hellebuck for finding his game. And, when it mattered, he was there. For number 2, it's going to be the guy who played 46 minutes tonight. I don't give him a lot of props throughout the year because he generally drives me up the fucking wall. But Neil Pionk is a goddamn hero tonight. No Josh Morrissey. He absolutely stepped up in a way that I was not expecting, and he was absolutely it was a legacy game for him as well tonight. So you can probably give him the number 1. A lot of people might, but you know me, I'm a homer for this guy. If it's Cole the Iceman Perfetti. He should have had 3 goals in this fucking game. They took one away that they shouldn't have. He should have had another goal earlier. He's absolutely here on a game where you're missing Mark Scheifele. Guys are banged up. You had that real bad shift from 81 early. You're starting to go, oh God, here we go. Cole Perfetti stepped up again in a way that absolutely cemented his place within the Winnipeg Jets history books, in my opinion. So Cole Perfetti, number 1 star. I do it a lot, but hey, fuck it, the kid's great.
Donnie Fester has Laus as the third star, Pionk number 2,
Wow, how
Fetz
did I not
number
even get
1. Matty Wins has Fetz, Lowry, Pionk. Tyler Branch has number 3, Binner, and number 1, my choice of pregame edibles. And hey, a couple pink lemonades, a couple blue raspberries, they came in handy to keep the nerves down in a Game 7 of epic proportions. I'm going to go up. This is a classic Nick movie. It's the 3 stars, and then you're going to give a couple honorary mentions. But I'm going to give it 2 honorary mentions, both to both to the goaltenders. Jordan Pennington was steady and consistent in this one, faced nearly 50 shots, takes this one to second overtime. He deserves some props on this game. Connor Hellebuck has a real tough start. It was something to behold. I was thinking, here we go again, and really found it in the big moments down the stretch, which was encouraging. But I'm going to go with Donnie Fester's Lowry number 3 comes up with the big goal. The captain's had some questions around his series. Plays a big role on the final goal. Plays a big role with Kyle Connor and Alex Iafallo after the roster tweak. Neil Pionk. The respect has got to be as loud as the disrespect.
Damn right.
And he has earned every bit of respect on this night. An absolute rock at both ends of the ice. Gets the shot through on the game-winning goal after making multiple defensive plays, stick checks, bouncing up the other way. And number 1, and then we got another question here. Good idea, actually. Number 1, it's got to be Cole Perfetti. The breakout is here. He comes up big with 2 goals, one off a Sidney Crosby-esque tip. One with 1.6 seconds left. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Cole Perfetti. But on the way out, Tyler Branch wants to know, who is the series MVP?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
You know,
I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
Because it feels like the Winnipeg Jets got it done by committee and different players stepped up in different games. Like when Scheifele went down, we had the Kyle Connor game. When we had the Dylan Sandberg game 2. We had the Cole Perfetti game today. Game 4 or 5, who was it that stepped up? We've had a real big mix of players step up for the Jets to get their wins. If I was giving someone the MVP from Winnipeg, it'd be Kyle Connor. But I actually think the MVP of this series, and a big reason why this went to 7, was Cam Fowler.
Interesting.
The Blues defense jumping into the play was something that really started breaking the Jets down and had St. Louis in this series. And it was led by Cam Fowler, who really impressed me. He set a St. Louis Blues franchise record for points. So I'm going to go KC was the Winnipeg Jets' best player, but I think the most valuable player to make this a 7-game series, to take this deep, I'm going to go with Cam Fowler and what he did to kind of turn the tides for St. Louis.
That's really good, yeah. On the Jets side, man, it's hard not to be swayed by recent events, right? Especially the last 2 games. Because I really want to lean on and say Perfetti still, even with just the way that the last 2 games have gone. But Kyle Connor's early stretch was really noticeable of putting the Jets on his back. You know what? If he'd had a stronger game tonight, I probably would have said Dylan Sandberg, to be totally honest. But even that was a little bit rocky. So it's tough on the Jets side. I'm having a real tough time picking just one guy, which kind of makes sense, right? This season has been fucking everything done by committee. This is how we, have had to roll. So on the Jets side, I'm not going to pick a single guy. I don't think I'm going to kind of take a cop out and give a shitty answer of there was no single player on the Jets that I think was the MVP. I think it had to be done with everybody that we had available, and even missing the ones that we did. And on the Blues side, I'm going to really give an unpopular answer. I'm going to say Binney. Playoff Binney was in full force for a whole lot of the series. He extended it longer than it may have even gone a couple times. So Fowler's a great answer, though, especially setting that franchise record.
Sets the record, and just him being the one that activated so much was really exposing kind of how to break down the Jets. So that's, yeah, and it is that you got so much contributions in different games from the Jets in their wins, whereas I thought Cam Fowler was the steadiest, most impactful player up until probably late in this one, where he's had a big role in that, right? So, but hey, the other MVPs, everyone that tunes into this show is a part of all this, rides the highs and lows, brings the passion, gets to enjoy a night like this. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. Game 7s are an experience. You don't get them often. Being a sports fan has a lot of lows, but it's a high like this that you got to enjoy it, and you got to ride the wave and experience it. And the fact that we got to celebrate with all of you and talk about this, you are the MVPs of this show. And we'll be back this week to talk about the Jets versus Dallas the rest of the way here. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.